Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. Please be aware that anything said in this video should not be taken as legal, tax, and or investment advice. And with that being said, I found an article online and I thought it was quite spectacular. We've spoken about the scarcity of Bitcoin before in the past, but now I told you eventually I thought we would get a lot more numbers that would start to become more precise as time went on, because as more people get into the cryptocurrency game and realize what Bitcoin is, people are going to start to realize that there's actually not enough Bitcoin for everyone in the world. So it says, due to the fixed supply of Bitcoin, former Google product director Steve Lee stated that only 1% of the world's population can own more than 0.28 Bitcoin. He says if you own 0.28 Bitcoin and HODL, you can be certain no more than 1% of the current world's population can ever hold more Bitcoin than you. A modest investment of $1,830 today can ensure you are a 1%er in a future Bitcoin world. End quote. This was said by Lee. Throughout the next few years, the scarcity of Bitcoin will increase as more investors and institutions continue to accumulate the cryptocurrency, which could further reduce the total possible number of individuals that could ever own one whole Bitcoin. The fixed supply of Bitcoin is fixed at 21 million BTC. As a hard-coded monetary policy of the protocol, the fixed supply of the dominant cryptocurrency cannot be altered. In 2017, Chainalysis, a blockchain forensics company that monitors and investigates cryptocurrency transactions, revealed in a research paper that up to 4 million Bitcoin are permanently lost on the blockchain as a result of theft, loss of wallets and private keys, and the dormant wallets of Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto, which experts have said is no longer accessible. For those who do not know, it is believed that Satoshi's wallet has over 1 million Bitcoin that just kind of sit there, and it's assumed, as no one has touched it in all these years, that it is never going to be touched, or that the keys in order to access it have been completely lost forever. Kim Grauer, senior economist at Chainalysis, said at the time that the lost supply of Bitcoin is not taken into consideration by the market cap. That means the real price of Bitcoin could be substantially higher, as 4 to 6 million Bitcoin are estimated to be lost. She said, this is a very complex question. On the one hand, direct calculations about market cap do not take into account the lost coins that we have. Considering how low speculative this field is, those market cap calculations may make it into economic models of the market that impact spending activity, end quote. This was said by Grauer. The 0.28 figure of Bitcoin introduced by Lee assumes that the supply of Bitcoin is 21 million, as it divides 21 million by 0.28 and divides the outcome of that by the world population that is 7.442 billion people. If the research of Chainalysis is accurate, and that 4 to 6 million Bitcoin are lost on the blockchain, the supply of Bitcoin should be closer to around 16 to 17 million that are actually floating around. Based on the estimate that the supply of Bitcoin is only around 17 million coins that will ever be available, only 0.8% of the world's population can own more than 0.28 Bitcoin, and less than 0.2% of the world's population can ever own more than 1 Bitcoin. Keep that in mind, because that is an incredibly low number of people on Earth. That means who will ever be able to own an entire Bitcoin. That should set off a couple of alarms. This is the actual thing right here, and it's actually, someone wrote online, they says there are not enough Bitcoin for everyone with a Coinbase account to actually own one. And this is why I'll tell you guys in a bit, a little bit of my thought process behind all of this. In consideration of the limited supply of Bitcoin and the increasing value of the cryptocurrency, in the years to come, the 0.2% figure is expected to decline substantially. The fact that any investor in the global market can be within the 1% of the world population with $1,830 as an investment demonstrates that the cryptocurrency market is still in its early phase. And in terms of adoption, market development, infrastructure, and regulation, the sector can still grow significantly in the mid to long term. What I think is interesting about all of this before is we've spoken about the scarcity. I think we even spoke about when Kim Grauer was in the news talking about this before, and this was a major discussion as the prices were going down during the year, and I kept on telling people, I said, something is up. I said, there's too much activity in the cryptocurrency space. We have far too many people who have gotten into crypto. We had news about banks offering like custody things for cryptocurrencies and specifically Bitcoin. A lot of the stock markets and all these other things that are happening this year and all the other attention that Bitcoin has gotten. And I said, it's really interesting that the prices have continued to go down. And then a couple of days ago, we had all the news that the market is actually, while it's going down, the interest in Bitcoin has only multiplied by at least tenfold at this point. And a lot of the sales that are happening for cryptocurrencies right now are happening over the counter, and that they are not touching cryptocurrency exchanges. So we do not see the exact numbers that are being passed back and forth. But it's believed that at any given time, there are a number of people who are buying at least $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. We've also had news when Coinbase first started there. It wasn't Coinbase Pro. I can't remember the exact name of the thing that they started, where you could buy over the counter with them and have like some type of like a custody thing. There were a number of people who were buying, and I think their first storage thing that they had was over a couple of $1 million worth of Bitcoin specifically. And this leads, I continue to say this, and I don't know how much longer this secret will be hidden, simply because when people are looking around, I think a lot of people, like I've said before, have been pushed out of the market, or they've pushed themselves out of the market because as prices have gone down, they have not realized the infrastructure that's being built up beside them at the exact same time as they have sold off all their cryptocurrencies. And then keeping in mind, the more people that get into cryptocurrencies, the more people that are going to be buying at least fragments of Bitcoin. And then when you get to the idea that there will ever be 21 million, and we know that for a fact, at least through the Chainalysis is not the only company that's actually doing this. This happens all over the world. There are thousands of people at any given time who are, we have people who track wallets. We have people who look at how much is sitting inside of a wallet and if it's moving. And this is where they kind of get these ideas from to see exactly how much is lost, or the news stories that we've had. Keeping in mind as well, on top of all of this, the people who we have in the news most often, some of the most prominent or dominant figures in the cryptocurrency space, we know that they own an enormous amount of Bitcoin. A lot of them have been bragging or have bragged over the years when they do interviews that they got into cryptocurrencies, or rather Bitcoin specifically, when it was anywhere from $1 to $10. We know that what's their names? They own, I think, 1% of all Bitcoin that's in the entire world. We've also had, I don't know if you've ever Googled like Bitcoin millionaire. A lot of articles will come up, and this is when these articles started first coming out, when Bitcoin first hit $1,000. And these were people who had around 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 Bitcoin, and it hit whatever, the $1,000. They were on these news articles and showing their phone, showing that they had over 1,000 Bitcoin. And the long story short, so many people don't understand that there aren't as many. And even when it comes to circulating supply, people think that on any given day that there are actually 17 million Bitcoin actually floating around every single day. I did the calculations before. This was many, many moons ago. And I was talking about, I have a strange feeling, this was even in like April. I have a strange feeling that there are probably, once again, this is my opinion, I think that there are probably only around 2 million Bitcoin actually floating around. I think a large amount of them have been stored somewhere. They are completely gone. There are people every single day who are in the news, and these major traders who are making all these amazing trades and getting all this extra Bitcoin, and they're increasing their supply by at least like 1 Bitcoin a day because they're typically trading with like maybe $500,000. So the even smaller trades allow them to get that much. We're going to get to a point eventually where people actually realize that there's even this figure as well. If you just even if there's just 21 million, like maximum, like if no one has any right now, and then every single human on earth tries to get a full Bitcoin, it's not possible. This is insane. And I think that eventually people will take notice. And I always say this, I think if you are into crypto right now, I think you are one of the lucky ones, because you're understanding and you're seeing things before everyone else in the world is going to have an actual chance to. I find it all rather interesting and very exciting, if you cannot tell by the tone of my voice. The idea we've had, I'm not going to even go into craziest or some of the crazier Bitcoin price predictions, because some of them are just completely astronomical. But to think that we're at a point right now after 9 years that Bitcoin has formally been around, that you can be part of the 1%, which is a major thing in politics and stuff right now. If you are just holding 0.28 of a Bitcoin, we had a lot of talk before. I think I was talking about when some of the prices, how high they could go and stuff like that. And if you own like 0.110, you would still be pretty well off. So as time goes on, more people are going to continue to accumulate Bitcoin under the noses of a lot of other people. And eventually they'll get it. But I think at that point, it'll definitely be too late. So kudos to a number of people out there. I've seen people in the comment section below who are, which you should probably never do, mentioning how much they actually have. I've seen a couple people talking about that they have like 10, 15 Bitcoin. That's wonderful. Make sure you hide them very well, because I don't think these prices are going to remain for much longer. Even when you look at like the actual Bitcoin price charts, I like slid over here and I got really depressed because I wish we could have, I kind of don't wish we could have these numbers again, because that would mean that Bitcoin has completely crashed and the entire cryptocurrency market is now dust. But something's going to happen eventually. And yeah, I thought I did this article, set off a lot of alarms in my head. A lot of people don't see what's coming, but at least you all do. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you once again for all your support. I hope that you are all having a great day, morning, afternoon, and or evening. Wherever you are, wherever you might be, I hope it's absolutely fantastic. Once again, not investment advice, but for those of you who already do have Bitcoin, thumbs up to you. Thank you once again, and I'll talk to you all soon. See you.